What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Climbing of the Podcast. I'm your host, Tonish Gorp, here with my co-host, Deception. Deception, say hi.
What up?
And we are back again another day for some more podcasts. This is episode 163 of the Climbing of the Podcast. We got some great stuff to talk to you about today. We were kind of just yapping before the pod today, just trying to figure out what we were trying to talk about because there's like always a bunch of stuff going on, but it's like more about like figuring out what's important, what we need to talk about during this time. So, we're gonna be talking about the new Hytale update today a little bit, and then because we've been covering Hytale pretty much since it was announced, so I feel like it's pretty important for us to continue that coverage. And then and I also have a whole channel dedicated to Hytale. And then we'll do some CDL Rostermania stuff that we got going on here after Major 3 going into Major 4. And what the first week of matches is going to be looking like for us. So let's go ahead and just like hop into it today. Oh, and there's also the esports the esports Emmys that occurred too, which we gotta cover as well. That's probably gonna take a minute. Take a minute. So going in and just hopping right into the Hytale stuff. So the new Hytale update just popped out. This is update number 5. This is like the big update. They do like little ones, bug fixes week to week, and I feel like we're pretty qualified to talk about this because before stream, I didn't say this out loud, but I did look and see how many hours I have in Hytale. It's not triple digits. It's not too crazy, but to be fair, most of these hours were in the past week of my life, a week and a half. Deception, do you want to take a guess?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as you because I feel like we've had like a little bit of a Hytale like revival lately.
I mean, we were talking about it in our so we have a management meeting every week for Scorpions Syndicate. We were talking about it for like, how long were we talking about Hytale for? It had to be like 30 minutes at least after that, because we were in the call for like an hour after the meeting ended.
Well, it was really interesting because we obviously we played Hytale quite a bit at the beginning, but then it kind of tapered off. I mean, I know that it obviously was different reasons for me than you. My main thing was like controller support, but I got that figured out in a different way. But it's kind of interesting how this update drops like right after I start playing it again, and now we have actual controller support in the game. I mean, if I had to guess for you, you're probably at like on Hytale, you're probably at like 60 hours.
Actually, I'm at 28, so I appreciate the compliment. I'm not as bad, but I was at like 6 a week ago. So I played over the course of 3 days I played like I think 12 hours of Hytale in 3 days while also working.
Well, I think honestly, like at this point, I think Hugs has got us both beaten because
and she didn't even want to play it.
She started playing it and she has the first day we had to do a whole bunch of like funky stuff to get in a world together because it was for some reason her network is like really weird on Hytale about connecting to people, so we had to do some extra steps to be able to actually play together. But she played like 8 hours the first day. The next day she played like 9 hours. And like the last couple days, she's probably put in about at least like 5 or 6 hours each. So she's either close to you or ahead of you in hours at this point.
Probably close. But I have some grinding to do tomorrow, cause I'm trying to get like ahead. I'm now caught up on like content where like I'm now back to uploading every like 3 days a week for my main channel and then twice for my second channel. But now I'm trying to get ahead to where like I'm now I want to be like a week ahead and then 2 weeks ahead on most of the content that I'm making, especially like gold gun videos and um
Yeah.
the new Hytale series I started yesterday. Um, I released episode 1 yesterday on that, but I want to be ahead on those so when um you know get a couple of weeks ahead, and I want to be like a month or two ahead by the time that school starts up in the end of August, so that I have some wiggle room to be able to still work on content but be ahead enough to where I'm still consistently uploading. Because I feel like that's what wrecks me every single time is going back to school. So I'm
Yeah.
really trying to lock in here and get ahead and get started.
Yeah, I'm like really happy that it was kind of like great timing that we started playing Hytale again, and then now the controller support update has dropped
Mm-hmm.
because that was like the big like I said, that was the big thing for me as to why I wasn't really playing it a ton. Is like obviously like I got the controller like working pretty well for me, but like it still was like weird in a lot of places, and like
33
I'd use
hours,
mouse and
Hugs?
keyboard for the menus and
Damn,
like
girl.
oh, Hug says 33. I figured she like was close to or
Girl, I'm gonna
past
beat
me.
you. We're gonna race, okay? I'm gonna have more hours
Um
on Hytale than you. I'm gonna do it.
but like I my thing was like I got the controller working obviously, and like obviously cuz Hugs was playing, I helped her get the controller working. But it still was like in a weird spot for me where it just felt really weird. Like I still
Mm.
had to use mouse and keyboard in the menus, and there were still some things about controller that just felt a little wonky since there wasn't like native support. And this is only the first iteration of their controller support, so they're obviously going to keep refining it and whatnot. But it feels a lot better than what I was working with before. Um, I still kind of have to use mouse and keyboard in the menus because, like, the one thing that they're kind of missing right now, I feel like with controller is there's not like free movement. The controller like using a mouse with the sticks, um, and that always feels really good in these games where you have to like manage a lot of your inventory and you have a lot of menus and whatnot. Having like where you can use your stick to like free move the cursor like a mouse is like great. If they can put that in there, it'll be really good. But like everything else, when it comes to like just the general gameplay, the combat and whatnot, it feels so much better with native controller support than what I was
Yeah.
working with before.
So
Um,
well, we can kind of go through like the update here. I've got the article. I've got the patch notes pulled up. Um, so there's a trigger volume tool. This is more for uh like creating they like for more like box play like and creating different things. But so that's more for like what it is. So looking at the controller support, so you can plug in a Xbox, PlayStation, or a Nintendo Switch controller, and Hytale will pick it up. You can move, fight, explore, and navigate menus with the controller, and the movement stick dead zone is tunable from 5% to 95% in settings. This is just the beginning. Some advanced features still may require a keyboard and mouse, but we will continue refining the experience based on the feedback. So,
yeah, and they're not wrong. There's still a couple things that definitely still require keyboard and mouse. Like you can move through the menus with controller, but it's really weird. Like it just kind of like it kind of just like flicks the mouse around in the menus in like a really weird way currently. So you kind of have to like I mean it's just a little better right now to run to use
here,
keyboard and mouse in that way.
there's a there's
Um,
a there's a feedback. Oh yeah, about the boats for sure. There's a feedback thing that you can put that in with the controller. Where'd my voice go? Oh, okay.
oh, okay.
Yeah, there's like a whole feedback thing.
I mean,
Bro, they
put
need
well.
boats.
If it hasn't been put in yet, I'm gonna put in one that's like we need the one thing that would help controller right now is having like a free look like mouse.
Yeah. Um,
Because that was like, I will say, like, when it comes to like the way I was doing it before, where it was kind of masking the controller as a keyboard and mouse versus like having native controller support, that's the one thing that that had on it was the fact that I could like free move the cursor with the sticks. That was great.
oh man, there's a lot of different grass slabs. Ooh, I like that. Sorry, I was just looking through all like the different suggestions, but there's a lot you can do. So if you play this game and you're like, oh, there's, I need that, um, you
Well,
can
the thing
suggest
about the
it.
feedback too is like the thing about the feedback too is they're asking for a lot of stuff. Which, granted, like it's great that they're asking for stuff because it gets the devs like clued in on what we want. But like, also you got to remember like the modding on this game is like very big. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're asking for something, there probably is a mod. The devs have also like the entire time this game's been out, and even before the game actually came out, they were hiring like people. They have actually went in and hired like modders.
Mm-hmm. So like actually just
Like
like mod.
there are people that were just passionate about the game, just doing it for the love of the game, making the Hytale devs were like, "Hey, you guys are really good. Let's bring you in here and let you help with the game for real."
They added server discovery to it as well, which is I like, where you can find different
Oh yeah, I
servers
saw
and
that. That was something really cool, and I went on the game too after the update was for the first time my server list was like filled with a whole bunch of stuff. Um, yeah, they've added like a few really good features. Like one of the other things is if you ever Discord connected to Hytale, you can automatically just add your friends on there.
yeah, I like
Uh,
that too. We're not gonna go too in depth on these because I am actually making a video on uh in-depth update 5, but so I can link that down below for you guys. But there's just a bunch of new stuff that they're adding, some combat items and equipment, which is really cool, all super dope. Some world blocks, particle and sound effects stuff, changes, UI and quality of life stuff, bunch of stuff for modding, different things for that sort of aspect as well. They added over an hour of new music too, so bump and bump. And
I also kind of recognize that. Like I felt like one of the things about Hytale was there was a little bit of a lack of music in a lot of situations, and a lot of like, because in Minecraft sometimes when you're just kind of walking around, you'll just have like music playing that'll
mm,
come on, and that like never happened before in Hytale, and I started hearing a lot more of it when I was playing after this update.
yeah, then there's just a bunch of other stuff. It's great that it's so long. Like this is such a long like update, so it means they're really taking things to the next level, which is really cool.
That's the fun thing about early access. You can just chuck a whole bunch of stuff in an update and make it like really big.
So I mean, it's gonna be there's some new emotes too that your character can do, an updated emo wheel, uh, and just a bunch of cool different things. So love Hytale, game's great. I've been having so much fun playing this recently. It's really like a lot of people are like, well, it's not gonna be Minecraft. It's not meant to beat Minecraft. I mean, Minecraft is such a staple and a conglomerate of the sandbox genre, but to have a competitor like Hytale to kind of like come up and be like push them to be better and to make certain things part of the game that should already be a part of the game. That's competition, you know.
Yeah.
Hytale is going to be a good competition for Minecraft. It may not overtake it, but it'll definitely add some variety to the space, and you know, you don't really need like
Well, and like since Hytale came out, they've been like there have been a lot of people comparing it to Minecraft, which is fair.
mhm.
But a lot of it's been like actual like good like comparison and criticism where it's like, oh, Hytale has like all these things that you have to
Mhm.
download mods for in Minecraft, but they're in by default in Hytale, and it's like, um, Hytale's working. Obviously, they have an entire world to build. It's a little different than Minecraft that's been established for a long time, but it's like even in Hytale's like smaller updates where it's mostly bug fixes, they fix a lot, and it seems like Minecraft only puts an update out like every so often, and there's like barely any changes. So it's like, did you guys really need to like do this?
Yeah, they're running out of ideas. Um, but that's we're I'm really in love with this game. So kudos to Hytale for being awesome. I love you guys. Keep up the great work. Uh, yeah, that's what I've got. Um, so let's go ahead and shift gears here into some CDL stuff. Um, so we have a lot of like Rostermania going on. A lot of people leaving, a lot of people, moving teams. So there was,
It could be a pretty massive roster mania if all the rumors are true.
yeah. So one of the teams that are making some big changes are um Vancouver Surge. Sorry, I like my brain farted. Uh Gwen is they got, I don't even know what this is. This is I hate this. Whatever this is, it freaks me out, Loki. Um, and then TJ Haley, they also are getting rid of him, which I think is a bad move, to be honest. Um, if they were to build the team for, I would build a team around Tej at the end of the day, but um, that's my personal opinion.
Oh, the thing about this move with them getting with them releasing TJ is I feel like this may be the end. This may be yet another Surge retirement here.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what TJ can do to uh
In my opinion, this felt like TJ's last gasp. He The only other place that I feel like he could possibly go is like Cloud9, but
I don't know if he
I don't
wants to
know if
do that, nor can they
I don't know. Yeah,
afford.
I don't know if he wants to get thrown into that. After already doing that with Surge, I don't know if he wants to go to Cloud9.
Well,
But
I don't
like
know if he wants to
the
go
thing is
there,
there's
but I don't
no
know if
other
they can
way for
afford
him
him
to really
either.
go.
Yeah, and they can't really.
They'd probably just pay him minimum. Like,
Yeah, which kind of sucks because like he's like that guy, So like why? It's just weird for me to see that.
I don't think that would be a great move.
I agree.
It may
And yeah,
help Cloud9 a little bit, but I don't think it'd be a great move for him.
no, absolutely
Um,
not. It'd be a great pickup for them. So I mean, they probably are gonna try to entertain it a little bit, see what it is. But I would not be shocked if a retirement is coming TJ's way. I mean, he's one of the oldest guys in the league right now, which is weird to say because he used to be like, I don't know. I still remember him as like a rookie, like personally.
I mean, he was technically like in terms of like CDL style competition, he was a rookie in BO4.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was when he was like finally eligible really to play. But I mean, I remember him when he was competing in like Ghosts and AW when he was like 15. So
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
been a long one. I don't know. I just thought it it might be the end of an era. I mean, he just hasn't really gotten lucky, I guess, with teams he's been on. I mean, the teams he's been on have been kind of like, for lack of better words, shit. Like they haven't really been
Yeah,
able to
I mean,
make anything
like
happen.
I really like the thing about Tej is like it seems like he always gets brought onto a team because he's like they're
TJ.
like, oh, we'll bring him in here. He'll be good. He'll be great. And then like it's not necessarily his fault, but it's just like I don't think he's really found a team where like it 100% works every
Yeah.
time.
Well, I mean, because I
Like
think they put too much on him though. Like the pressure on him is like crazy, and I just don't think it like measures up to what he can handle like mentally. Like he's
so
got the whole team on his
first
back.
if you want like a comprehensive look at like TJ's career, well, I'll go through some of the major moments of his career. I would say the first stint was when he joined Stunner. He joined Stunner in May 2014, which was during Ghosts, and he stayed with them until right before Champs because obviously he was only like 15, and that was at the point where like a lot of the teams that thought they could make champs would always just like drop all their under 18 players and try to like get a roster together that would actually be eligible for champs.
Mhm.
Um, but probably the most notable thing that happened during that stint is he looked pretty good in Ghosts on that team, and he put them in a good spot. And then when they went to MLG Orlando in January of 2015, they actually made it to grand finals, only losing to none other than Optic. They kind of got like destroyed by Optic in the grand finals, but it was kind of insane because that team was largely just a team of like younger guys that like weren't really all that known, and they just like they made it all the way to grand finals. So that was like TJ's first like real big impression um, that he made.
Mhm.
Um, and then he joined. He had like stints on teams like Elevate and TK at the time. Um, he even played for his first stint on the Rise was even in AW when he was like 15. Um, but then he really didn't like after 2015. Obviously, like that was when CWL stepped in, and he wasn't old enough to compete, so he had to take some time away from being a technically a pro. Um, but then for World War II, he joined Rise, and that was probably, I'd say that was probably his most notable like stint in his career. Uh, because he actually like won events on Rise. He did great. That was like a really good team. Um, they just they had a lot of other roster changes that went down, even though he stayed on.
Mhm.
Um, that kind of just like derailed that team. Um, but then obviously, like for BO4, he when it for BO4 when it went to 5v5, he went to Optic, and that infamous Optic team that like it was a combination of like that team not really working that well together, and like
All
the Optic
the
org
optic
in
drone, yeah.
itself like imploding. Like there was a lot of stuff going on that like kind of ruined that
I think
roster
that
too.
roster
And then
probably could have worked if it wasn't for all like the drama.
the drama was the worst because that team genuinely was like probably the most talented team in the league, in BO4, and they
Mhm.
just.
They couldn't.
It's not really that they squandered it. It's just there was just so much going on that they just could not keep it together.
No.
Um, but then, unfortunately, he was forced to stay on Optic when they went to uh, the Optic Gaming Los Angeles. Not
Ugh.
Hector's Optic.
Ugh.
And he stayed there. He had a very he had a stint on LA Thieves in Cold War. Their entire time in Cold War. They didn't really go anywhere because
No.
Thieves in Cold War were not that great. Um, that was obviously their first season back in COD in like 4 years, and I mean, obviously they were better in Cold War than when they were playing with those jail jerseys in BO3 in 2016. But um, still, like not even close to what the Thieves are now.
No.
And then he went down to Challengers for a little while, and then got picked up by Breach. Didn't really have a great year there. That was in Vanguard. Um, and then he played for the Legion in MW2. Didn't really go that well there either. And then he had the very fabled stint in uh, with the Royal Ravens in MW3 when they switched to Carolina. That's what most people are gonna know. Most newer fans are gonna know TJ for that,
Yeah.
because he kind of put that team back together. Um, and then it was. He played for like he kind of just like ever since that like the Ravens like that was the last time that I really like looked at TJ and was like, yeah, like he might be back. And now it's like,
All
it's
right.
not really back now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but part of me really feels like, especially with it being this late in the season, obviously things could change, but part of me really feels like that this list that I'm looking at of teams he's on, this is as far as it's gonna go. I
Yeah.
really feel like this is it. Like,
I mean, sometimes you just gotta bow out. Like, I mean, it's not like he sucks at the game. It's just like he's just not having good luck with these teams. And, um,
well, now because he's like, that's kind of like what has always kind of happened with like the older players that weren't like super established on a team, but like he's just because he's been on these top teams and he has winning potential, but like nothing really works, so he's just kind of been bouncing around.
mhm.
He's kind of like a journeyman player, and now because he's almost always going to be the veteran of a team, um, whatever team he's on, they just kind of put him in the leader role and be like, hey, like you teach these guys, and like I don't know if TJ is the guy that wants to do that.
Or sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's not who you're meant to be. Sometimes like you're just a player that plays. Like you're not a player that teaches other people, and it's just like you kind of have to. eh, You can't like force yourself to be the kind of player that you're not. Like he
Yeah.
might just be one of those people that just like I'm just gonna play. Someone else needs to be IGL. Someone needs to lead here. I'm not a teacher. I just play the game, and sometimes that's how it is. And I think I think teams are kind of just forcing him to take this role because of his extensive time in the league. But at the end of the day, like
Yeah.
that doesn't really matter here.
Yeah, I just I hate it for Tej because I feel like this is the end of the road. I mean, obviously he may go down to challengers and play. That's kind of what he's done the last like couple times he's been dropped off of teams,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I feel like he's kind of at the end of the road. Like I feel like he knows that there is almost a guarantee that he won't get back in the CDL. Like at this point in his career, like I felt like I said, I felt like him getting on Ravens and kind of putting them actually getting back on the map and like doing pretty well for the first time since MW19. Like I felt like that was his last gasp, and like um ever since then it's just he hasn't really been able to make anything work. So I hate it for Tej, but I feel like he may try to get on a challengers team to like go to EWC or something.
Mm-hmm.
But if that doesn't fall through, or if he doesn't do that well at EWC, if he makes it there with a challengers team, like I feel like we're gonna see a retirement post from him at the end of
Or
all
like a non-official retirement, like just
of it. Or yeah,
stops
he could be
playing.
like but he could be like Bose, where he just stops playing for like 10 years, and then he's finally just like, oh, by the way, I retired.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we're in like a time though where like yeah, that doesn't really fly too much anymore. Like I think like when you kind of retire, you kind of have to like let people know. I don't know. Because I mean, people are always gonna keep reaching out to him, especially these lower tier teams. I think he's either gonna either retire or just bounce between the like bottom four, like either go back to Breach or wherever. So I don't know, but I think it might be his time to just hey, put in the towel and whatever. But at the end of the day, like sometimes that might be fuel. So honestly, somebody clip that so that he can use it in like a montage or something like that when he comes back one day. I don't know.
And I don't know. Like it's just I think I don't know if like part of it's me just thinking about the Surge and like their retirement home reputation, but like I when I see a veteran player getting released from Surge, I'm like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Bye bye. Good luck. Have fun. So here's kind of where oh wait. He says he's on Boston.
That's the rumor.
Um
None of it has been confirmed. Well, a little bit of it's been
okay, so here are the rumored rosters that are coming. So we've got Boston, we got Tej. These are all rumored, not true as of yet.
yeah,
Tej,
obviously, like
Spart,
some of this
Persh.
stuff will not. Some of this stuff will not be absolutely true until it's confirmed, because
Yeah.
obviously even the post that this guy tagged with all these rumored rosters has already been confirmed false. It it was rumored that Abe was going to be joining Koi again. But then last second they were like, no, we're gonna keep Kleenex. So
Yeah.
I don't. My thing about this list is obviously the big thing that people have been talking about the last week. Obviously because like by far this is the team that you this is the biggest team that's making changes. But the big thing is uh Gentlemate's making a move. I mean, I can't say I didn't see it coming, but it's still surprising regardless.
Mm-hmm. So
I mean,
Boston, we're looking at TJ, Spart, Purge, and Afro. Then for G2, it's looking at Envoy, Kremp, Nasty, and Skies. Then
I'm not gonna
Gentlemates,
lie, bro. That G2, like, if they
I
get
could
the
cook.
good envoy, that could be
The good Envoy.
that's a good team, bro.
Yeah.
If they get the good envoy, the consistent envoy, oh lord.
And then we've got Gentlemates versus Estriel, Sib, Ghosty, and Neptune. We already talked about Koi a little bit. Surge, Craze, Mamba, Lunars, and Nero. So they're bringing Lunars back.
Yeah, they've kind of just been playing around with Lunar's emotions this whole season.
Pretty much. They're like, bye, come back, wait, goodbye, wait, come back. C9, Webby, Hyde, and Courage, and Nedra. And then Ravens, Standy, Exceed, Fire, and Lurks.
In my opinion, by far the craziest like roster changes definitely like G2 and Gentlemates changing, switching out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, if G2 get consistent envoy, they're gonna be good. I mean, but also they're switching out Estriel, which I don't know, man. Like the thing about Estriel is like he has a whole lot of potential, especially when he's playing with a team uh that plays well with him. And the thing is, him and Civ have played together like quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Uh so they have chemistry and uh this team, I feel like with the way that Estriel plays the game, this is like a really good team. Like I feel like Gentlemates. I hate to say it because of the fact that the main reason why I'm saying it is because Envoy is so inconsistent at times. But like I like at the very least, this is like a 1-for-1 trade. But like I feel like if Estriel like plays to his potential and plays to like the way he was playing at some points on G2, like I feel like this almost is an upgrade for Gentlemates to get Estriel.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's very talented. He's very good.
Yeah, he is. I think I think it's definitely I'm actually kind of shocked though. At the end of the day, I'm really shocked that Gentleman's is changing their roster. I really was not expecting them to at all. So to see them do that, it's a little shocking to me, but it makes sense at this point in the season to do that since they've had such a rough go at it recently. They started out so strong
Yeah,
so
they
early
were like
on.
legitimately like at least like it. In my opinion, at the beginning of the season, like I was a little scared that it would just be Optic and Gentlemates running away with the top two and nobody be able to catch them. Like
Mm-hmm.
they were by far the two best teams. And like even when they went to that grand final, like it went to game 7, and I was like, are we just about to see like Optic versus Gentlemates all season? Like,
Real.
but then they just fell off a cliff after Major
They really
One.
did.
Like they did so well for the first like couple months and got to Major One and won the thing, and ever since then it's just been a roller coaster for them. Like it's like sometimes they still look like one of the best teams in the game, and sometimes you watch them play and you're like, what are we doing?
Yeah. What are we doing, guys? Get it together. Get it together. I don't know. I think at this point it's probably a team chem issue. I don't think it's anything that anyone really is doing wrong per se. I think it's just team chem and
Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but like anytime like anytime that you have a team that has Envoy on it, it's like Envoy's always the first one to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of similar to like the Kenny situation where it's just like, all right, bye bye. You know, they're like,
Well, and they're very similar players. Like they both
mm-hmm,
play like a kind of similar role, and they both are the X factors of any team they play on, and they both are. I hate to say it because of how good they can be, but they're just highly inconsistent. It's
mm-hmm.
like
I think that's why
you
Thieves
just
struggled
it's
so
like
much
you
when it was
just
both
never
of
know what
them.
you're gonna get out of Kenny and Envoy. And like the worst part is for a while on Thieves they played on the same team.
Yeah, when they were playing on Thieves, I think that kind of made sense as to why their season was so bad for such studded rosters. They had two X Factor players that like never were on the same page on the same day, and that actually can make that honestly makes so much sense to why they weren't producing the way that they could have been.
And it's just tough because I I just I hate it for Envoy. Obviously like and Kenny was too, but Envoy is like a beloved Optic alumni now
Mhm.
because he went to Huntsman when they switched to Huntsman, and he was that guy where it was like, oh, he's a guy that they're taking a chance on, um, and he did pretty well, and he did well enough to actually not get dropped for once and move on to Optic Chicago when they went there. Um, but it's just like the problem with being an X factor on your team is like you're always the first guy to go.
Mhm.
If they're gonna make a change, it's most likely gonna be for you. um, and I mean, that's the story with Envoy and Kenny both. Is like it's just, um, I hate it for Envoy because he's a really good player and he has shown that he's really good. But like at the same time, it's like you can almost always count on like Gentleman's performance to be skewing in whatever direction Envoy is playing. Like if Envoy is doing really bad, they're not gonna be winning. They're gonna be struggling. But if Envoy is playing at least half decent, they're gonna look like one of the best teams in the game.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to set up for a next segment, so I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's difficult to say what the success is going to look like moving forward, but um I'm sure like within like the next week, next couple days, probably as soon as we, end the podcast, we'll get some confirmations on some of those rosters. Um
Yeah, that's how it goes.
yeah. So, um I did want to shout out though. Uh so the sports Emmys was yesterday, well last night. And
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know this event existed.
I didn't know this
Or
event
this.
existed either. But there's a lot of different awards that they give out at this thing. And esports was able to snag one, which was awesome. I looked through. This is the only one that esports got. I trust me. I searched and I searched through all of them. Um, but there's so there was outstanding esports championship coverage, which is its own award, which is really sick. Goes to the 2025 Call of Duty League Championship weekend. Um, Optic Texas versus Vancouver Surge specifically, which is really cool that Call of Duty was able to win something here. I mean, there's been a lot of hate around COD recently and CDL, just not recently, but overall. But there's been a lot of hate towards the COD League since the beginning. So, um, to see that people still love the game and it's still such a pillar in esports, um, that they won an award like this is it's good to see. It's
Dude, this is
hopeful.
actually crazy because like for for a lot of people to like not put COD in the same like in the same tier as esports like CS and League of Legends
Mm-hmm.
and Valorant. The other like nominees were League of Legends, Valorant, and Apex, and COD won out. So
Yep. Which is just amazing. That's just amazing. Um, but I'm really glad to see it. Um, but yeah, I love when COD succeeds. It's not that we hate COD, guys. We love COD. It's just we don't always love um what they do. So what else is going on here? I don't know, man. It's kind of a wild west out here online. I don't know,
yeah,
man.
it's
It's been the wild
it's
west out
crazy.
here recently. Um, but yeah. No, anything else you want to talk about today, Deception? Anything else that's tickling your mind to discuss?
I don't really have anything else to be
All right,
honest.
works for me. Um, but anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. Hytale, dope game, love it. I think it's great. I think if you guys, are willing to spend the $20 and play, I think it's in a great state to play right now. There are still some bugs. There are also still some things that are kind of wishy-washy, but it is a fun time, especially when you play with friends. It's a really good fun time when you play with friends.
Yeah, I
But
mean, and if you're somebody that mainly played like Minecraft on consoles, or you're used to controller, that the controller support helps a lot.
yeah, um, but anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Appreciate y'all. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys like the video if you guys are watching on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. And make sure you guys follow us on Twitch where we stream this live every Wednesday, 12 p.m. EST at twitch.tv/tonage_scorp and twitch.tv/deception276. Alrighty, Deception say bye.
Bye.
We'll see you guys next time. Peace.